Alright, and welcome back to some more Magic Arena, and today we're going to be dipping our toes right on back into some more Explorer, today with a Grixis control list. Hey, Grixis is back, or is it? Let's find out today, shall we? So we're going to be playing some Grixis control. You could kind of call it a bit of a mid-rangey control style of gameplay, since it does use like Nicol Bolas the Ravager and wins with like Planeswalkers and stuff like that. I don't know. No counter spells in this deck though. It's pretty much red, black, splash, blue just for the Nicky Bees here. So we've got a lot of removal in this deck to hopefully close out the game. So as removal goes, we've got Erebos' Intervention. I think this card's pretty good right now in best of one. You might be thinking, why not March of Otherworldly Light? Well, this one has the added upside of being able to exile twice X cards from graveyards, and that's relevant because Phoenix is a thing, and Grease Fang is obviously a thing. So being able to eat your opponent's graveyard, and also have a removal spell for Grease Fang on the exact same card, is pretty useful. So we're going to be running 3 copies of that, and hoping we have one of these cards in our hand when we inevitably run into Grease Fang. We also have a split between Heartless Act and Infernal Grasp. I'm not entirely sure on the split just yet. So Heartless Act is a 2-mana instant that destroys a creature with no counters on it, or it can remove 3 counters from a creature. Pretty much it's just here for removing creatures with no counters on them. And then for anything that does have counters on them, we've got Infernal Grasp, which just straight up destroys a creature, but we lose 2 life. The reason why I've not decided on which one's better here is because I think the life loss is relevant in this deck. So if I can help it, I want to be playing something like Heartless Act, but it's going to come down to how many decks end up having creatures with just incidental counters on them, because if they do, then Heartless Act looks a little bit worse. And I do want instant speed answers. Sorcery speed removal spells just do not cut it in this format, so you really do want to be able to attack your opponent every single turn and answer every single threat you possibly can. We also have the Meat Hook Massacre, because of course we have the Meat Hook Massacre. Kolaghan's Command is another pretty sweet one as well. So 3 mana modal ability here. You get to choose 2. So you could either return a creature card from your graveyard to your hand, so we could return a Bone Crusher Giant, which could be removal, or, interestingly enough, we could return a Valky God of Lies or a Nicol Bolas the Ravager. And you may have noticed that both of these on their backside are Planeswalkers, which means that Kolaghan's Command can return Planeswalkers to our hand, which is pretty cool. We can also make our opponent discard a card at instant speed, so if our opponent is empty-handed, then we can set a stop on their draw step and make them discard it, and if it's a sorcery speed spell, then they don't get to cast it. Can also destroy artifacts as well, so we can hit those pesky Parhelions and Sky Sovereigns, also anvils and treasure tokens, in the case of like Indomitable Creativity and things like that. And then obviously just a nice little bit of removal with the 2 damage to any target there is quite nice. We do have the Nicol Bolas, as I mentioned. This is going to be a Grixis control list, or Grixis midrange. I haven't decided what it actually is called at the moment. But it's built around Nicol Bolas, as anything Grixis ends up being most of the time. So we've got the Ravager, a 4-mana 4/4 Elder Dragon that enters the battlefield and makes your opponent discard. And then for 7 mana, you can return him to the battlefield, transformed under your control, and only do this as a sorcery, turning him into Nicol Bolas the Arisen, which I haven't done in a very long time, so I'm excited to do that potentially today. He's got a lot of abilities here. The tick up allows you to draw cards, the -3 is removal, the -4 is reanimation from any graveyard, which is pretty dope, and then the -12 is a win condition, which is pretty sweet. I've actually, fun fact, beaten that win condition over several turns. Funnily enough, I remember it was there was a card from Ixalan that gained you twice X life and then put it on the bottom of its library, and I kept casting that every single turn because it was the bottom card of my library. It's pretty funny. I was very pleased about that, and then the rest of my board state allowed me to take care of Nicol Bolas and win. We have Nicol Bolas Dragon God as our top end as well. A 5-mana 4 loyalty Planeswalker. It has the loyalty abilities of all of the Planeswalkers on the battlefield, so the Chandra Torch of Defiance. I'm not going to go into this one. You all know what Chandra does at this point. Probably best Planeswalker ever printed for a long time. The -3 destroys a creature or Planeswalker, and then the -8 is a win condition. Each opponent who doesn't control a legendary creature or Planeswalker loses the game. So, yeah, pretty sweet. We got 2 Hagra Maulings, which is just a removal spell. We've got, I think it's 25 lands. Yeah, 25 lands plus 2 MDFCs, so should hopefully not miss any land drops. We do have the brand new Xander's Lounge from New Capenna, so we now have a Grixis tri-land, which is awesome. Allows us to get away with running these check lands, which haven't been something we could get away with for quite some time. And as I mentioned, we are a base Rakdos list, so that's why we're only really running the Dragon Skull Summits. We're not really running any of the other check lands, to be honest. We do have Shipwreck Marshes and Stormcarved Coast, I guess. But something to note as well, with a mana base that has to have Nicol Bolas, we need to have 3 black, 1 blue, and 1 red. So it's important that the majority of our lands produce black, which also influences the reason why my entire early game is black cards for the most part. I guess you could consider Bone Crusher Giant a 2-drop, but yeah. Base, red, black, and then on turn 4 there's 1 blue pip, and then turn 5 there's 1 blue pip, so it's really all you need to see on this one. But yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed today's video. If you do, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe, and without further ado, let's get to it. This video is brought to you by the generous support of our wonderful patrons and channel members that you see here. If you'd like to support the channel and get access to cool content like sneak peeks, bonus videos, polls on future content, or access to a personal deck critique from myself every month, then hit the join button down below, or check out the Patreon link in the description. With all that said, let's get into the gameplay. Alrighty then, we're in, and on the draw... Hands full of removal, and we've got mana base. The mana base solved, so we're going to keep this one. There's a good chance this will keep us covered for a while. Hopefully we get like a double red at some point for the Chandra. And I don't know. Let's just hope this is a good hand. I suppose that's all that really comes down to. Our opponent's got some Domri sleeves. So maybe the Gruul aggro, I've been seeing that quite a fair bit. Mountain suggests I may be on to the right idea. It's actually probably mono red. So I could pay 2 to not get hit by a 2/2 haster. I think I'm probably just gonna take my chance at that not being the case. And avoid taking 2. Well, it's a 3 mana haster. And we'll kill that now because of the cost reduction. And just drop down another tap land. If it's Goblins, I'd imagine Kolaghan's command's going to do a fair bit. Goblin Ringleader. And they do have Collected Company. So, we are just going to, I think, play Xander's Lounge and then K-Command, probably the Legion War Boss. That's annoying. So they're going to go for Goblin Instigator here. Alright, so make them discard, deal 2. Instigator and its token no longer gain haste. And I could Chandra tick up for mana and then K-Command again. Discards Collected Company. Why, oh why would you do that? That seems like such a bad idea. But what do I know? I'm just the one dying here. Yeah, I mean, the problem is that I'm gonna, like, Ringleader and do my thing. I kill Ringleader and do my thing, but then they're gonna War Boss, and then I'm gonna have to deal with that, but... I can't let this board state stay as it is, so I have to go for another discard, deal 2. And just hope that at some point I draw a Meat Hut Massacre, because I think that's my only way back into this game. Discards the cards that I think that they need. This game's wild. Another Ringleader. Alright, refills. Whiffs. Oh, baby. Alright, Chandra gets to live. Let's start with Chandra tick up.
Yup, you're going down.
I mean, I'm gonna play that. X2. Thank God I can at least pay for the mana. Thank you. And that's the game over. What, you thought creature matchups mattered? Talk about invalidating an entire archetype. It's more of a deck building strategy, I guess, but... Alright, there's a Krenko. And our opponent will scoop now. Because they can't win. You will scoop because you can't win. They'll get there. They'll get there eventually, chat. Don't worry about it. Alright, play Bone Crusher Giant, play... might as well play untapped, why not? Send a message. And now I've got two choices, so if they did go for a Coco and they hit two creatures, I could probably kill both of them. I guess unless it's Grumgully plus Goblin. So I think, is Grumgully a 3/3? Or is it a 2/2? Either way, this would have to hit the this would have to hit the Grumgully. This would have to kill the Grumgully target, and it would have to be a 1/1 for that to matter. So, a problem for sure. Good game. Play Shatter Skull Smashing, which could have killed my Chandra to stay in the game, but I think they were wasting their time. So. Pretty good. On to the next one. Alrighty then. Let's see. We've got Meat Hook, which is nice. Turn 1 Thought Seize off of a Shocked Blood Crypt. So we're going down to 16 doing that. I'm going to keep this hand. I'm not terribly impressed with it. But our opponent's mulliganing, so they're not impressed with theirs either. You know what beats a mulligan? Thought Seizing. Llanowar Elves. So this is either Jund's Sacrifice or it's Fight Rigging, I think. So let's just go take a little peek up there and see what we're actually working with. Ah. I'll be honest, didn't expect that. Alright, let's get rid of the higher toughness creature here, I think. Pelt Collector into Werewolf Pack Leader. Nice for our opponent, that. Well, we get to play the Summit here, and then I can stomp the Pelt Collector, which I think is correct. Could also hit the Llanowar Elves and pin them on 2 mana. Maybe that's correct. That could be the right decision. Just mana screw them. I've got these two covered down the line. Power 6 or greater. I think it's probably actually hit Pelt Collector and just hope for the best, really. Alright. So kill that. See if they get in with the Llanowar Elves here. They do. Alright, so we're going to play our land. And I think we're playing Hagra Mauling here. Actually, we could just go... discard 2 damage. I want to keep this as a land, I think. Yeah, definitely happy with my decision there of keeping this as a land. And then we'll play Bone Crusher Giant to make a trade. And this game will be over. If I draw a blue source, it's definitely over. Well, I'm going to play you as a creature and see what our opponent's working with. Oh yeah. Even if they draw the land now, we've got that covered. I'm actually going to pay that mana here so I could turn Valky into an old growth troll. I think that'll keep me alive. Yes, please. Boom. Chandra's a good pickup here. Foul shell. I'm just gonna, feel bad about hitting my blue source there. I'm just gonna keep passing because this game is over. They got the Blooming Marsh. It's up to our opponent when they want to end this game. But Chandra will end it pretty soon. Another whiff there, unfortunately. I'm just gonna keep passing. Gonna have to kill the pack leader eventually because of the Great Henge inevitability here. It's only getting 3 cost reduction, so not a problem just yet, but I can kill it now, so I might as well. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that's fine. I'm just checking, because it can turn into a different power and toughness, but it doesn't ever go above 4. I knew its power was 5 at some point. Yeah, so now the game is over.
Yep, you're going.
I'll Thoughtseize you, and then I will draw step you with my Kolaghan's command. And that is actually just game. Discard a card, deal 2. Say goodbye to that on your draw step. Rotting Regisaur. Since our opponent's been so friendly, I'll give him 1 back. Boom. Alright. And we draw our blue source just in time for Nicol Bolas to eat their lands. Well, that was a bit of a stomping, a little bit of a non-game, but, you know, these things do happen. And we did create the non-game, honestly, because of killing the Llanowar Elves eventually. You know, we did kind of strand some cards in their hand and all sorts like that. Took their gold growth troll that they could have cast eventually. But yeah, we just we got ahead and we stayed ahead. So, sweet. On to the next one. Alright, opponent goes first. We've got a shocking hand, unfortunately. Against a Giganthodex, it's probably like Anvil or Jun's Sack. So Kolaghan's command's pretty good against that, but the amount of life loss involved in this hand, I think, is just unfortunately not something we can go with. Alright, this one I'll keep. I think I'm throwing back Valky. I don't know it serves much of a purpose. Swamp Thoughtseize. Goodbye, Bone Crusher Giant. Yeah, good job we had very little in our hand for our opponent to choose. It means that this won't take 10 minutes for them to decide. Yeah, the Nicol Bolas. Interesting. Maybe they're going Anvil here. Ah, Arcanist. It's red-black Arcanist. I haven't seen that one in a while, not since I played Historic. Remember when Historic was good? Good times. Alright, kill the Arcanist. Stitcher's Supplier. So I'm going to want to find my Erebos' interventions in this hand, in this matchup, I guess. Thank you. Appreciate that. Let's just play Xander's Lounge, so that we've got the Ravager open next turn. And I can exile 2 cards with intervention at some point, but I'm not really in a rush to do that. Nor do I want to kill this Stitcher's Supplier. I guess it could just be a weird form of mid-range, but yeah, it looks like it's Arcanist. So kill you, see if you got Village Rights. It'd be unfortunate if you did. Should Fatal Push their own Pyromancer, really, because then I don't get my Bone Crusher Giant. But to each his own, I suppose. You get rid of that last card, and you'll scoop to that, I imagine. The Heartless Act. Just remove the removal. Nicol Bolas busted, confirmed. Yeah, I mean, this game's over. I kill the Arcanist here, no issues. And then I'm swinging for 4 while they're swinging for 1, and they're on top decks. We're both on top decks, but everything I'll draw is removal for their thing that they draw, so... yeah, really a good matchup, I would say. Pretty sweet. On to the next one. Alrighty then, we're in, and... yeah, I mean, it sounds good if it's a creature matchup. And we got Nicol Bolas, I guess, if it's not, but... if it's Counterspell Tribal, if it's not, then probably can't win. Okay, Otawara. Not necessarily a good sign, but not a bad one either. I'm just going to play an untapped land here, so we've got Heartless Act and Intervention open. Don't know if I'll need them. I'll certainly play Blood Crypt tap next turn. Short of drawing something that needs all that mana, of course, but... Jwari's Ruins. Alright, so we do have to play around Censor. So we'll be playing the Ravager on 5. Just because they played one doesn't mean they don't have another. I could play Valky just to see what's in their hand. A little bit of a peek, can't hurt anyone. Then I'll know if it's good to play any of my other cards. I can still hold up and Heartless Act if they've got something to get under me. Like a, I don't know, a dragon. Okay. So they're gonna go big score. Discarding, I guess, a land? Or maybe now that they know I know about the Drawers Disruption, they could get rid of that. Flame Bless Bolt. Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure I really know what this is. I'll be honest. It feels like it had something to do with the Goldspan for a while. Fable of the Mirror Breaker. Makes treasures. And once again, I'm stuck in that point where I can't actually kill this token right now because of Dwari's Disruption. That's interesting. So do I play the Ravager? Or do I stomp and hold open Heartless Act? I feel like it's stomp, hold open Heartless Act. Let's see if they want to... I feel like they were considering wasting a disruption there. They can soak and Zarm, but they'd use 2 treasures to do it, and they'd lose a token, so I'm happy making that trade. I figured they wouldn't. Fire Prophecy. Suddenly I'm thinking this is an Indomitable Creativity deck, because whenever I played Indomitable Creativity, a great way to put in your hits was to play Fire Prophecy. Making treasures is a lot better to play around removal than having a 1/1 token, for example. So I think we're playing against Indomitable Creativity. Officially. And I have no good answer to it, because I don't have a Culligan's command. So they did dump the Dwari's Disruption. But I think that still means I'm going to go for the Heartless Act. I'm still going to play around it. Hagra Mauling. We'll play that so that we have Nicol Bolas Dragon God next turn, and we'll go the Ravager here. We do drop our guard, but we put our opponent on 2 cards. And there's literally nothing we can do about Indomitable Creativity anyway, so I've just got to play to close this game out. Reflection of Kiki Jiki. Yep, there's a creativity. Dumping one is not a good thing. Probably means they've got another. Yeah, look, here they go. Alright, let's see what they can hit here. Ah, they just win on the spot. Yep, that's infinite damage. Unfortunate. If I had removal open, I guess I would have won. But I don't. So, yeah, there's no way to interact with this, unfortunately. As long as they've got life total equal... Or as long as my life total is less than the size of their deck, then they win the game. So, yeah. This is basically an infinite loop, and we'll move on. I mean, sure. Let's just make their hand not do anything. And of course it would be mono red. Alright, well suddenly this hand looks terrible. I'm not going to pay 2 to then lose 2 on a Thoughtseize. I think that's probably a real bad idea. But yeah, this is a real bad position to be in. All of a sudden. So I'm going to need my interventions at some point. I need a hero. Well, let's see if I can stop the Kumano's Chapter 2 from doing anything. Yeah, I mean... This is definitely worth my time. I love how it didn't even let me have another look. It's like it knew. Alright. Have to Infernal Grasp that, because Heartless Act doesn't work. Which I guess I'll do. I'm in trouble. I need Meat Hut Massacre, I need Erebos' Intervention. Anything of the sort would be nice, because we're going down to 6. Big ol' B. Biggie B. I mean, maybe that'll help. I don't know. I don't know. It's going to depend on those 2 cards being trash, and I'm really skeptical of them being trash, to be honest. No, they're not instants. So I'll take 1 down to 5. Our opponent will then put us down to 4. And play a land. Draw nothing. We skipped our draw step. Weird how that works. Alright. We have to kill the Denizen. And let's see what you top deck. I mean, I'm dead to the Raminat Ruins right now. Firebrand, that's a 2-2. Yep, now I'm officially dead to the Raminat Ruins unless I can top deck a life gain spell. So going after me gives me a potential out. Oh. Oh god. Oh baby, is that what we needed? X2 please. I have a Stomp open. I'm gonna go up to 3 here. They're gonna put me down to 1. If they use the Raminat Ruins here, otherwise I'm pretty sure... Oh, come on. What is it with these... Yeah, I'm on a red decks and drawing 3 toughness creatures. It's so annoying. Alright. Get rid of something. I draw a land. I hate you.
My schemes are never ending.
So now I have to do this. And this. And pass. I'm hoping that just Nicol Bolas is gonna, like, pinch them of their mana at some point. That's the dream. That's how I get back into this game, is they have to exile all their lands. You lose 1 life when my giant dies, so there's no gaining here for me. Have to block. So they go down to 16. I have not triggered Spectacle. That's really bad for me. Okay, that could work. That helps.
You have no I cannot exploit.
I have to do this, and then upkeep stop the Kolaghan's command on their... Oh, draw step stop, sorry. The Kolaghan's command. Discard a card. I guess return a creature at this point. You discard. So if it's a creature, it's gone. It was a land. Alright, that would have helped them as well. Can't attack through anymore. I think we've done it. I think we have turned the corner.
My intellect is without limit.
So I have an answer to their top deck with Kolaghan's command, so I get to hit them for 4 here. They draw. I make them discard and deal 2 to them. As long as it's not an instant speed spell, we're okay. And that should be game. Oh, baby. That was too close. Oh, man. So, let's see. They're at 9. I'm going to hit them for 4 again. I've got 6 here, so they've got 3 more life I've got to deal with. I'm going to recycle the Xander's Lounge. I do have Nicol Bolas the Arisen I could flip over into. I think that's incorrect, though, because I'm pretty sure I just want to be hitting for 4 here and chipping them down to death, since this Planeswalker side doesn't have any way of actually pressuring the life total of our opponent. I don't have anything to... I guess, can I... It is from a graveyard. I could steal, like, their Anax or something, I suppose, but I think just attacking with Nicol Bolas there is definitely just the more appropriate thing to do. And I can always stomp my opponent, play Bone Crusher Giant, and then there's another blocker, which is part of the concern. Whew! Meat Up Massacre. Broken card. Ban it, please. Next game. Alright, opponent goes first. This hand is, I think, acceptable. We can turn 1 Thoughtseize if we really care about it, but it's going to put us down 4 life. I don't think we really care about it when our opponent plays an Emiria, so let's play Xander's Lounge. So it could be like Angels, looks like it is. So now I can Thoughtseize my opponent without having to take extra damage here. Metallic Mimic, Giada, I hate them all. But, fun fact, I have answers to everything here. The annoying part is Collected Company. So I think that's what I'm taking. Let our opponent play their cards. I mean, if they don't draw a land, they're playing Giada. And I can Hagramauling it. Yeah, I can still Hagramauling it. I think I want to make sure that Mauling gets to go off here. Is that true, actually? Huh. It might be better to hold this as a land. Just in case I skip it here. Yeah, maybe I'd just go Heartless Act, because this one's the worst likely to be able to be shut off. Considering they've got 2 creatures here that allow them to put counters on things, that would be less than ideal. So there's Giada. I can Mauling, or I can Watery Grave. And then Stomp plus Grasp. I think that's what I want to do. Let's Stomp Giada. Opponent's priority's only been held by this March of Otherworldly Light, so not a concern there. His sleeves are so weird. They just work no matter what zone they're in. It's wonderful. Alright, Mimic can pick whatever the hell it likes. And it's gone. No hesitation, just murder, murder, murder. Alright, we got a Dragon Skull Summit. Well, I think Nicol Bolas Dragon God over Ravager is correct here, because I don't really care about these cards so much, so them exiling them doesn't really matter to me. I'd rather them hit their lands, and rather I draw cards as well. Okay, they've got a redraw. So I could kill the Overseer to force them to either take a card from hand or a land. Or I could let them choose to go for the Overseer. I think they would always keep it, though. Because they need to pressure the Dragon God. But why give them the choice? So again, they're telling me that they've got white cards in their hand, because I guess this can target their own creature. It can't target my Planeswalker. That's a nice one. What does that say about my decision making here? I certainly don't want to play Nikki B into a March when I don't need to. So let's have a look at their hand. Let's take a card out. I'll take your Fateful Absence then, I suppose. Then I'll let you decide on what you want to get rid of here. Stomp was a good pickup. It's rid of a land. Alright, well now I feel completely safe playing Nicol Bolas, because the amount of resources they're going to have to drain just to get rid of Nikki B here is absurd. Yeah. And that alone will win me the game. When does Godpharaoh do his ultimate? It's on 8. I thought it was on 7. Each opponent who doesn't control a legendary creature or planeswalker loses the game. So I'm basically going to leave them without resources, because that's how I roll, baby. All these Thought Seizes, that's the game plan of that particular card. And yeah, it's the game plan of this deck and the video. So hopefully you guys have enjoyed. It's where I'm going to end it off here. If you have enjoyed, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more content like this in the future. And without further ado, going to end it. Take care and peace.